Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. We're following the workshop Compiling a Robust College List, and today is the second session. Today's topic is going to be creating and organizing a college list from scratch. But before we dive deeper into that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Sana, and I've completed my high school graduation from Tyndall School. I've been a part of Wath since 2020, and I'm going to be joining university this fall. And yes, I changed my mind. Over to Mario.
Okay. Hi, guys. I think some of you might have seen me in the previous meeting. So, hi, it's nice to see you again. To those of you who are joining for the first time, my name is Maria. I've been a part of Wath for the past 2 years. I was a part of their first cohort. I am going to join Bryn Mawr College for fall 2022 as a computer science major. This workshop is definitely going to be helpful if you're trying to apply to colleges and like making a college list on your own. So please make full use of it. And I hope we get to interact more. Absar, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. I'm Absar. I'm also starting university this fall, and I'm going to be majoring in CS. I'm also a Wath alum, and I was a part of their first cohort along with Sanan and Maria. I wanted to say that please do ask any questions in this session that you have. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we'd love to hear from you. Looking forward to interacting with you.
Yes, I mean, for this session, it's going to be mostly Absar and Sanan talking. So if you have any questions or if you want to tune in and you have some opinions of your own that you want to drop, just drop a text and I'll make sure I read that and convey to others. Yeah.
And can you move to the first slide, Absar?
Yep. Should I start? Okay. So this first slide is probably going to be like a compilation of what you're going to see ahead in all of the next slides and like this whole workshop. We'll try to curate this workshop in a way that you get to have an in-person sort of a stimulation about how you're going to search for colleges and what tools you're going to use. So we've tried to list down and categorize each tool that you should and you could utilize to get to know more about colleges, to get to know more about the programs, and see if your college list is fit enough, if it's balanced enough. The first resources we're going to cover is websites. There are a few websites which are authentic and which are mostly used and like relied upon by students and admissions officers. First being US News, then being Niche, and then Unigo. And then we'll come to tools. Absar is going to talk about tools with you. Common App, you must have heard this word somewhere and you're going to hear it for a long time. I guess till January or so. So watch out for that. We're going to talk about Notion and we're going to give a brief introduction about Notion and how you're going to utilize Notion to organize your college list and your whole application process. We're also going to have, by the end of the session, we're going to have a screen sharing session where Sanan and Absar are going to tell you how we're just going to have a few colleges that we're going to search upon, do some research and add them to our Notion list. Then we have Auxilia and Wath database. Please refer to Wath database. I am being a bit biased. We really put a lot of effort for that. So do check it out. It's curated for international students asking for financial aid, Kashmiris to be in general. So do check it out. Then we have colleges, their own websites, their admissions committees, their admission representatives that you could reach out to, and their faculty and alumni that you should reach out to, of course. This also would cover the part of the demonstrated interest. That is something you will get to know in the coming slides. And in the end, we'll have some introduction about the social media that you could use to get to know about colleges. You have some Reddit servers and like some forums that you could utilize, and our best friend YouTube. So I think we'll start with Sanan talking about the websites, and then we'll move on to Absar talking about the tools. So Absar, if you could switch the slide and Sanan could start.
Okay, so हमने अपने कॉलेज लिस्ट में जब हम कॉलेज लिस्ट बना रहे थे हमने काफ़ी चीज़ें यूज़ की, काफ़ी रिसोर्सेस यूज़ की। उनमें से कुछ वेबसाइट्स जो हमने सबसे ज़्यादा यूज़ की वो ये 3 हैं। मुझे नहीं पता यूनिगो के बारे में, वो मारिया यूज़ करती थी, लेकिन उसने हमारे साथ शेयर की आज काफ़ी लेट शेयर की उसने हमारे साथ ये वेबसाइट। तो लेट्स
I
स्टार्ट
thought
विद
सबको
यूएस
पता
न्यूज़।
था.
यूएस न्यूज़ नहीं, हमें नहीं पता। So US News is a media publishing company and they post university rankings every year. They are the most reliable and there are also rankings for specific majors and stuff. And you can also check the global rankings if you're not just applying to US colleges. They have countries like Turkey, Canada, UK, and even India as well. You can check all the global rankings, you can check the global major rankings, and that would give you an idea of how good your college is. But other than that, US News can also be used to search for scholarships, and they have this college. ओके, मेरी आवाज़ कम हो रही है, मुझे आनी चाहिए। ओके, तो उनके पास स्कॉलरशिप्स के लिए भी है एक सेक्शन। और मैं जनरली क्या करता था जब मैं स्टेट स्कूल्स की स्कॉलरशिप देखता, उसके बाद मैं यूएस न्यूज़ पे जाता था, वहाँ पे लिखा होता था आउट ऑफ स्टेट स्टूडेंट्स, आउट ऑफ स्टेट मीन्स इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स, उनकी अम, आउट ऑफ स्टेट स्टूडेंट्स का फी क्या होता था, क्योंकि वेबसाइट से जनरली कॉलेज की वेबसाइट से काफ़ी टाइम लगता था मुझे वो ढूंढने में। लेकिन यूएस न्यूज़ पे सीधा एक सेक्शन होता है ट्यूशन एंड फीस का, वहाँ पे लिखा होता है इन स्टेट स्टूडेंट्स के लिए क्या है फीस, आउट ऑफ स्टेट स्टूडेंट्स के लिए क्या है फीस। और ये फीस जनरली डिफरेंट होते हैं जब एक नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी के बारे में हम सर्च कर रहे थे। अगर लिबरल आर्ट्स कॉलेज देखोगे उसमें तो मैं यहाँ से स्कॉलरशिप देखता था कितना कवर करेगी, वहाँ से मैं देखता था फीस एक्चुअली में कितना है। तो उससे मुझे थोड़ा एस्टिमेट रहता था कि अगर मेरे को यहाँ पे हो गया स्कॉलरशिप के साथ तो मुझे कितना कवर करेगी यूनिवर्सिटी। उसके बाद आ गया नीश। नीश पे होता है रिपोर्ट कार्ड। रिपोर्ट कार्ड हर एक यूनिवर्सिटी का से एक जनरल आइडिया मिलता है, लेकिन वहाँ पे लोकेशन को जनरली सब में सी लिखा होता है, सेफ्टी को डी। तो मुझे नहीं पता है वो कितना यूज़फुल है, लेकिन नीचे वहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स के रिव्यूज़ होते हैं काफ़ी, और आपको वहाँ पे मिल जाएँगे ये स्टार्ट्स की कौन-सा कौन-सा मेजर वहाँ सबसे फ़ेमस है। और वहाँ पे नीचे एक सेक्शन होगा जहाँ पे आपको मिलेगा सबसे ज़्यादा ग्रेजुएट्स किस मेजर में है इस यूनिवर्सिटी में। तो वो एक अच्छा इंडिकेशन होता है कि इसका सबसे पॉपुलर मेजर कौन-सा है। और वो नहीं ऐसे ही लेना, क्योंकि वो काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट होता है। वो इनडायरेक्टली आपको बताता है कि इसके प्रोफ़ेसर्स कितने अच्छे हैं इस मेजर के और उस मेजर की फंडिंग कितनी अच्छी है। इनडायरेक्टली बताएगा वो आपको। उसके बाद आया यूनिगो। हमारी आप बोल सकती हैं यूनिगो के बारे में, ये आपने आज तक नहीं बताया हमें।
Insider information there. Unigo is basically, I think I too got to know from college essay guy, or maybe I just randomly searched about traditions college ke, so I landed upon Unigo. Unigo is like that unfiltered site जहाँ पे college के students होते हैं, they give their opinions and like their own suggestions about colleges, feedback for colleges. So Unigo is like a place where you'll have that unfiltered opinion. If the class is bad, the kids will say it's pathetic, it's terrible. If it's good, they're gonna praise it. Also, one good thing about Unigo is like एक तो general overview देता है colleges and programs का, but there is this section जो students fill करते हैं for reviews, and there are certain questions, 15 to 20 questions usually per college, जो students answers करते हैं. Now, those questions are generalized, but they give you a good idea about the college and the college life in general. For example, what one question would be, what is an average day like, or what is a day in, how does a day look like for like a computer science student? Or it could be, what are the most favorite traditions, or like what is the most popular club? Are there any science clubs? Some random questions that kids answer, or like what is the most common stereotype at college, or how does the campus look like? Why is your school XYZ school very unique? What is different about your schools? All these questions are there, and students from those very schools answer those questions. So you'll have that unfiltered opinion जो कि ना कि website पे होगा या college की अपनी website पे होगा, which at times can be a bit biased and or like paid. So Unigo is like a spot for जहाँ पे आप oh one good thing I used Unigo अपने essays में if I ever had to talk about traditions or like a club that I could not find on the college website but students knew about it and they had mentioned it so I used to add that small thing. I remember Bryn Mawr के essay में I talked about their cafe जो even though website पे नहीं है but there is a cafe in the library called Lusty Cups and it's like very good coffee so I randomly talked about how I could be like studying in the library, enjoying coffee from Lusty Cups, and like supplementing coffee from there from my final season. Something very small, but then it shows to the college that you've made your effort, you've done the research, you know insider information. So Unigo is for that. Please go ahead, Sanan. That was all.
Okay, can we move to the next slide?
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you like talk about tools?
Yes, so the first tool that I'm going to talk about is the Common App. So the Common App is basically the portal through which you're going to be applying to most of the schools you're going to be applying to. I think more than 900 schools accept the Common App, and the Common App has this college search tool which you can use to look up colleges and find important information about them like deadlines and requirements. And also the Common App is where you will be able to find official supplemental essays which can often be used to eliminate or add schools to your list. For example, I applied to UChicago the first time I was applying. So UChicago has two supplemental essays. One of them is a standard by us essay where the college expects you to uh, tell you how you see yourself thriving in the school, basically, and making use of the resources they have available for you. And then UChicago has this long supplemental essay that is very unique, and not a lot of uh, schools have that kind of supplemental essay. They allow you to be very creative, and I was basically very attracted to those supplemental essay questions. You can look them up if you like. So that was a reason why I applied to UChicago. And similarly, many people don't apply to UChicago for the same reason. They do not like the supplemental. They do not like the supplemental essays that UChicago has. So it was really fun. I wrote a letter to my school bus, and I wrote about this detective group we had in school. So basically, supplemental essays are a good way to narrow down your college options. And the Common App is where you're going to find these supplemental essays. Colleges update their supplemental essays on the Common App. So on to Notion. Notion has basically carried my life for the last 3 years, and of course, the application process. I organized my college list in Notion, and I added important information to Notion, and I used it to keep track of my to-do list, basically everything that had to do with college apps. So, and each one of us did that. So you can use Notion to keep track of everything, and it's a really good organizational tool. Later on in the session, we're going to talk to you about, we're going to actually demonstrate how you can use Notion to build your college list live. And so stay tuned for that. And now the third tool on the list is Auxilia. So this is basically a tool made specifically for international students by the College Essay Guy. If you've heard of him, he's a dedicated college consultant and has a ton of free info on his site about various aspects surrounding the college application. So Auxilia is a really good tool to look up data on uh, internationals, specifically for different colleges. It has statistics on the percentage of international students receiving aid, the average award given to international students by different colleges and the percentage of international students in their total undergraduate body. So we're going to show you this, how to navigate this tool later on in the session too. And this is really important because policy from college to college can differ a lot based on if the applicant is domestic or international or in state. So this is going to be really helpful for you in the application process. I applied twice to the US, and the second time I applied, I wasn't really planning on applying at all, and I applied. It was a last minute decision, so I discovered this tool then, and I don't think I would have been able to apply. I would have been able to research as well as I could last minute had I not come upon this tool. So the next thing on the list is college databases. So if you've read the Wath guide, which you really should, it has in the college search section, we've linked some databases, and we also have our own database with many colleges that give aid to international students, and we're going to keep updating that later in the year. And so you can use these databases, and you can also look for your own databases on the internet, and you can use these to look up stats and funding and know a lot more about the college, because these statistics are not really you won't find this stuff on the college's website, and you won't, if you talk to the admissions office, they're not going to be that transparent about these things. So these are very helpful in researching your colleges. So I think that's it for tools.
I think for Notion, it's a lot more than just your college application, like college list or like your application process in general. You could use Notion for a lot of other things. I mean, I used Notion for a few courses that I was taking and like kept a track. So if you learn Notion, it's gonna be handy for you every single time. Even when you go to college and you'll have like 4 or 5 courses that you would take, it's gonna help you like plan out those courses and like spread it out over your schedule. So yeah, look forward to Notion. Notion is
Yes, and
best.
also Notion can be a bit overwhelming for
Can be.
beginners. I think, especially right now that they've added a lot more features.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's worth the effort to. If you find it overwhelming, I think you should really learn how to use Notion, because it's a good investment further down the line.
And
Okay.
if you ever want to check deadlines, please don't use any other websites other than Common App or except the college website, because generally you would find that those dates that they have given any other websites other than the college's specific website, they're not up to date, and you might miss some important deadlines. So if you ever want to check the early action or early decision deadline, because they're usually the most important, just go to Common App at that college and then check there.
Yes, so the Common App is the only resource out of these that has official updated info. Uh, for the rest, you should take that information with a grain of salt, because this is not technically official, although it will be to a great extent accurate. I think that's it for tools. I'm moving on to the next slide.
Okay, so social media. If you go on to Reddit, there are several subreddits that you can use. The most famous one is A2C, that is short form for applying to college. The next is international to US. These college subreddits are really useful when you're going through the process. You'll find other people, other students applying to the colleges, and they will share their info there. They'll share their progress, and if they've made any mistakes, they will also share that with you. And if you have any questions that might not be that you cannot search on Google, or maybe you weren't able to find that info, you can ask there, and you will generally find a lot of responses on questions that have already been asked there. So before asking a question, maybe you should go on to their Reddit websites or their pages and search for the question, there's a high probability that it would already be answered by a large number of students. So that will save you a lot of time. Other than that, if you want to connect with your university students and ask them about the program or anything specific about the university, you can find their Discord group. Uh, Personally, I've found Discord to be the best way to connect with students because the conversations are generally smoother. I don't like how I have to mail the admissions officer and then I have to keep it all formal and everything. I'm not able to ask them a lot of questions, and I don't feel comfortable asking them some personal questions as well. So Discord could be a great way to get to know your university and talk to their students. Also, there are some official Facebook groups for each university. So if you can find that, you could post your questions there. Also, other than that, LinkedIn could be used as a resource, but it's different in other social media. So you might want to read a blog post on that. You can connect with people, but only if you know their names. But you can also search for Kashmiris in those specific universities that you would want to join. And if they have a LinkedIn account, they would probably have the university name in their bio. So you can find Kashmiri students there studying in the specific university that you're interested in. Other than that, YouTube could be a great resource. You could watch day in the life videos. You could watch advice. Personally, I found why I'm glad to be a really good YouTube channel, and it helped me a lot. Other than that, I would say, what was her name? College admissions or something. Cannot recall her name. Maria knows that.
Sorry, I was answering.
Maria, there was this another YouTube channel that helped with college advice and stuff.
Are you talking about Super Tutor TV?
Super Tutor TV.
Yeah, it's Super Tutor TV. That's
she helps with SAT as well, SAT and ECC. So check that out.
There are no there is a Discord group. Zeva is asking if there are any good Discord groups out there. There is a general group for A to C, but you can also join university specific groups, and that could help you out because it's specific to your university, and the students would be the alumni or the current students studying there. So if you need more specific advice regarding a university, look for their student groups on Discord and stuff. But if you need more general advice about the admissions process, the application process, I would say look for A to C server. Yep, you Google their Discord server and it would generally show up.
If it doesn't, you can actually go to their Instagram or any of the social media, or just mail them and ask them for some groups or servers that you could join. Or if you're joining a meeting, prospective student meeting, ask them there. They'll probably hand you out the link to that.
Okay, that's it for social media. It's a great tool if you want to ask specific questions or learn more about anything regarding your college or the general application process. Moving on, we have college resources. So the college website would be your first go-to if you have any questions about the website, about the college or the specific policies. You need to make sure you are checking everything, because generally for international students, there might be some additional policies that don't apply to the US residents. So you have to double check that, especially when you're applying for aid or scholarships. Other than that, admissions office, you can always contact them. There would be a mail on your portal when you apply, or even if you haven't applied yet, you could find that mail on the university website. You could email them, schedule a meeting with them, or even a call, and that could be really beneficial. Also, there are virtual sessions and virtual information sessions where just generally it's generally for international students, and you find other international students trying to learn more about the university, and it also shows demonstrated interest. So if your university tracks that, you could Google if my university tracks demonstrated interest. Generally, small schools or schools that aren't that prestigious would track that. So it's a good way to show the university that you're interested in them. So I would say whenever you join an information session, don't just sit there, but you should ask questions. That would definitely help you out in the process,
And
and
make them
that would
remember you in ways.
yeah,
So
try to
also,
make them remember you, but
I'm
don't do
sorry if you
stupid
could like
stuff.
explain demonstrated interest in general to those of you who are joining us.
oh, okay. Demonstrated interest is basically very literally demonstrating interest in a school. So इसका basically मतलब होता है कि आप एक स्कूल के जो भी उनके जैसे info sessions हैं या फिर आप उनको email कर रहे हो चीज़ों के बारे में या फिर आप जो लिंक्स आपको काफ़ी सारे प्रमोशनल ईमेल्स आने लगेंगे जब आप कॉलेज एप्लीकेशन स्टार्ट करोगे, कॉमन ऐप अकाउंट बनाओगे और वेबसाइट्स विज़िट करोगे, तो जो लिंक्स आपके ईमेल्स में आएँगी, वो आप कितनी ज़्यादा ओपन कर रहे हो और आप कितना टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे हो उन वेबसाइट्स पे, ये सब चीज़ें कुछ कॉलेजेस ट्रैक करते हैं। तो ये बस एक तरीका होता है कॉलेजेस के लिए जानने का कि आप एक्चुअली एक्साइटेड हो उनके कॉलेज के बारे में या फिर आप बस ऐसे ही अप्लाई कर रहे हो। क्योंकि अगर 2 लोग हैं और उनके स्टैट्स सेम है, उनकी एक्टिविटीज़ सेम है और कोई ऐसा पैरामीटर नहीं है बाकी उनको डिफरेंशिएट करने का, तो एक कॉलेज प्रेफ़र करेगा उस स्टूडेंट को लेना उनमें से जिसने ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट डेमोंस्ट्रेट किया होगा उस कॉलेज में। So basically not every school tracks demonstrated interest. For example, schools with like 3% acceptance rates are not going to care about who clicked on their promotional links or whatever. But some schools do really care about demonstrated interest. So in general, it doesn't hurt to demonstrate interest in a school. And it also helps you as through interacting with the school, you get to know more about the school and also gauge your fit in the school. Um, so yes, I think that's it for demonstrated interest. Oh, I'd like to say something about emailing admissions or emailing anyone in general. I think people aren't used to communicating through email. So emailing doesn't work like texting. You can't you can't be informal in these emails, and you can't just ask stuff like, so what about financial aid? I want you to tell me. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's going to come off as very rude. And it's going to leave a really bad impression on the admissions officers or whoever else you're emailing. You should start off with a hello, and then you should say something like, oh, I hope you're doing fine, blah blah, and then you should go into whatever you want to ask, and you should use formal language. Then
Also,
I think, oh, Maria, go on.
Also make sure you use proper titles to whosoever you're referring to. If you're talking to a professor and you don't use professor, it's going to look highly unprofessional and come off as very offensive or rude, unless they've mentioned that they're okay with anything else. So make sure you're using proper pronouns, proper titles, and yes, be very formal. If you feel like it's serious, too serious, it's okay, it's normal, and be to the point. They don't care. They don't have time to like आपकी story सुनने का इतना time नहीं होता है. So make it short and crisp. That would be helpful for you and them as well.
और ऐसे सवाल नहीं पूछना जो जनरली वेबसाइट पे आपको मिल
Exactly.
जाएंगे, तो
Don't.
For
पहले
example,
अपनी रिसर्च करना, उसके बाद उनको मेल करना.
Also,
for
and when we
example,
say no, so go ahead.
सो फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे हम लोगों ने वर्थ गाइड पोस्ट की है और हम बार-बार डिस्कॉर्ड पे बोल रहे होते हैं कि पढ़ो वर्थ गाइड, और तब भी हर वीक या हर 2 वीक्स में 2-3 या फिर डीएम करते हैं लोग हमें कि मतलब स्टैनफोर्ड जाने के लिए क्या एसएटी स्कोर चाहिए और ये सब। तो इन जनरल हम लोगों को काफ़ी अननोइंग लगता है क्योंकि वो इंसान ये शो करता है कि वो इंसान एफर्ट नहीं डाल रहे हैं रिसर्च करने में और वो रिसोर्सेज यूज़ करने में जिनकी तरफ हम उनको क्लियरली डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं और जिसमें हमने एफर्ट डाला है बनाने में। तो ऐसे कॉलेज एडमिशन्स को आपको अनॉय नहीं करना है एडमिशन्स ऑफिसर्स को ऐसी चीज़ें पूछ के जो उनकी एडमिशन्स वेबसाइट पे क्लियरली अवेलेबल है। सबसे पहले अगर आपको कोई क्वेश्चन आएगा तो आपको कंसल्ट करनी चाहिए उनकी ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट और उसके बाद आपको एडमिशन्स ऑफिसर्स को ईमेल करना चाहिए। तो हाँ। इसके बाद, I think I'm going to talk about alums and faculty. So basically, many
Oh,
alums and
I had a point. Um, demonstrated interest. When we say demonstrate interest and अपने admissions officers उन सबको अपना याद दिला, like make sure they remember your name or your face. We do not mean आप हर अगले दिन उन्हें emails भेजो. Like you don't have to mail them asking a very random question, or just even if it's a tricky question, don't send 5-6 mails एक साथ, or like in a span of like 5 days 5 emails. Contract it to one, because ज़्यादा आप उनको ज़्यादा pester करोगे in a way, it's gonna have a negative impact. I mean, it should not, but it does have a negative impact. So be careful. Demonstrate interest, but limit it, and know how to do it.
exactly. I think, does anyone have anything more to say about demonstrated interest? I think we covered it.
Or like if you guys have any questions, you can please like drop those questions, even if it's about demonstrated interest or any other thing that we've covered till now. It would be great.
Yes.
Where do you have anything to suggest? Demonstrated interest के बारे में?
Who's still here? Whoever,
Yeah,
please feel free to join in.
this is for ditching us.
Also, switch on your video.
Yes, I mean, to those of you who are here as well, you guys please be comfortable to just unmute yourself and talk. We are very okay with it.
Yes, and I mean, all of this is meant to be casual. Like
Yeah.
we're not like, judging you or assessing you through these things. We just want to share the stuff that we know about, and that's going to help you make this process a little easier. So please feel free to unmute yourself and talk, or
We
send us
talked about
messages.
common data sets, I guess. Common data set is like your university's everything, like every monetary, every student number, everything in statistics. It's down on like a form that is filled by every single college, and it is usually made available on the internet. So you can actually just Google common data set, Stanford, for example, and eventually you'll land up on a form sort of page where the university would have filled everything out, like how many per year, that's all usually taken per year, how many international students were there, how many males were there, how many females were there, how many what was the average aid covered for every international student, what was the percentage. So that's what Hued was suggesting. A
Yeah,
very
it's
good
not the
resource.
prettiest in terms of presentation, but you'll find a lot
Yeah,
of info there.
yeah, has a lot of good stuff, the best stuff, but is not very fancy or like appealing to the eyes. You'll get tired.
Yes, so and also not every school releases the common data
Mhm.
set every year, so you're not going to find this for every school. And so looking through the common data set, like Maria said, can be very tiring. So the database is linked in the guide, and some of the databases
Mhm.
then you can find over the internet, or Auxilia, like we talked about it a few minutes earlier. These tools help you navigate the common data set more easily, uh, and you can pull out these tools use the common data set as their source of information. So you can instead of looking through common data sets for every school, you can consult these tools as well.
If there are no questions, we can just like continue, I guess.
Um,
Wait, we had a
okay.
question. Absar, do you want to
Through
cover it up?
everything.
Did
Still
someone ask
speaking.
a question?
Honestly, it might be a bit late, but it's never too late.
I
Because
don't think
when I
it's
was
late.
applying for the second time, so I was not planning to apply for the second time. I was a bit iffy, and Sanan was like, "Do it. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna regret it?" Or he said a very funny thing, and it was, "Are you not gonna tell your kids this very something very weird?" And that had me laughing for like 10 minutes. But Sanan motivated me at the end of October, but only because I had already applied once and I knew everything. I just had to like do the math and just find more colleges to apply to and write them. It's not too late, but start. Stay optimistic. Otherwise, it won't help. Absar, do you want to add?
Yes, I think it's actually not that late. You can still, you have a lot of time to look up. You're in 12th, right? You're Are you in 12th, the person who asked this question? Oh,
No,
you're on a
I
gap.
think they're a gap year student.
Oh, okay. So, you
Yeah.
still have time. I think it's worth it if you the most important advice I have for you is to research colleges thoroughly. Look into every database on the internet. Look through corners on Reddit and basically consult every resource out there. Look through websites like College Vine and stuff, and you can find a lot of colleges that you can still apply to and maybe stand a decent chance at getting into. Also, um, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I think that's it. That's all I
That's
wanted to.
okay.
Mm.
Also, I would want you to focus on researching right now because even though I had applied for the second time, for the second round, I still spent 60% of my time researching colleges and programs. Like, I'm not even joking. My 60% or like even 70% was just based on researching for colleges. And I think I did pretty good research, which is why I got into so many schools. Otherwise, I would have not. It's all on your research. If you do good research, a research that in the end is credible enough and resourceful enough for you, that's the only thing. So make up your mind because research is hectic. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get bored. So make up your mind. That's the only way you can do it.
Y-
For example, take Notion or like a pen and a notebook. Just write everything down. Write whatever resource, like whatever single thing you get to know about college that is interesting, or like I think there's only, for example, there's only one college or like two colleges that have a mechanical engineering in B.Tech in US. Not many do. I think U Chicago has it. Uh, that's something that's not very common and something that could strike your mind. So note it down on Notion or like a piece of paper. That's how you do research. I mean, they're going to help you demonstrate it in the end as well. But yeah, do research.
Um, yes, and also when we based on our interactions with people in the server, everyone is thinking about the SAT, everyone's thinking about AP tests, which aren't even that important, and people are thinking about essays, but not a lot of people are thinking about researching. So I think we talked about prestige in the last, like I wasn't present, but Maria, who had been Sanan, talked about prestige in the last session, and they talked to you about how the quote unquote eliteness of a school or rankings are not the only factor that make a college worth applying to. So the fact that if you don't know the name of a college, that doesn't mean that it's not a good school. You really have to put effort into looking up departments, and you have to research deeply, basically, to get a good selection of colleges with good aid. So it takes a lot of time. So, and you should really focus on researching schools very well. It's going to be a shame if you focus on everything else. Like you get the SAT scores, you get the GPAs, and you write very polished and well-written essays, but your choice of schools limits you from actually getting in. So do put a lot of effort into researching. Um, so I think is there any other question?
I'm dropping some resources for you guys to refer to. Save them because if not now, in the future, you're definitely gonna need them. Yeah, and I think some of you must have. I mean, you guys should have a small college list ready by now, as we requested in the previous session. But if you don't, that's sad. But whatever. When the session ends, please start, and these could be some really great starters for you to refer to, along with Wath
Oh,
Guide.
yes. I think, are we running out of time? It's already 3:52.
I
Just
think
so
that
we
we
get
should.
an idea about participation, can people who have made a college list draft say so in the chat?
Yeah,
Just say yes if you just say yes if you actually made a college list.
yeah, because we could like help you review those colleges and see how it goes. Have
Ahmed
one
Bahadur
person.
said yes. Way to go, Ahmed
I am
Bahadur.
Do you
assuming you're
want
from
us to
the
give you
upcoming cohort.
any advice on your college list?
Yeah, we're going to get to that after. We're going to review your college list. I think for the time being, you can DM uh, your college list to us. Can you send a picture or can you text me on Discord, please?
Yeah, you can like just text any of us and we would save it for you. Also, when we're giving, when we say we're reviewing, we're just giving suggestions. We're not
Yeah,
experts. We're just
we're not
people who've
admission
been doing
experts
this
by
and
any
only
means.
the past 2 years.
Yeah, so
Take it with a grain of salt, and it's good to have multiple opinions rather than just one. So make
yes.
sure you refer to the mentors if you can, or like someone who has already gone through this phase and knows how to deal with it. Make sure you refer to them. It's always good to have more opinions and more suggestions.
Also, you're going to be refining your college lists to until the very end of your application process. You might be eliminating colleges a day before the deadline.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I mean, it's a very extended process. But so does has only one person worked on a college list here?
No, me here as well. Kind of.
Zehva, have you made a college list?
Yeah, kind of. Like I'm a gap student, so I have some things in my mind, and now I have things
I'm
figured out.
sorry, your voice is
Do
You
you say
very
you're a GAT student?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, CBSE has cursed my life. That is my story.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
they
I
say
can't
they're a
make
grad
Kind of
student.
gap, but like it's kind of gap, but kind of disguised gap. Because like my exams for my 12th grade are like happening in June, like ending in June, and then I'm like, whoa, what do I do with my gap year? So it's kind of messed up. But then yeah, that's my reality.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. If you're
Um,
okay, comfortable, you could like share with us. It's not okay. I thought you said grad, and I was concerned. I was like, what? Why is a grad student here? But it's okay if you're still working on it. We are not asking you for like a perfect list. There's no way you're gonna have a perfect list even now or like even by the end of the college admissions process. I was adding and removing colleges right before the deadline. So you're gonna have to refine it all the time. So don't worry about that. If you guys are comfortable enough, maybe you could send us like DM us
yes.
here
So
Like
or on
now,
Discord.
basic
like now.
feedback on the lists, and we can also use that to show you how to navigate Notion, and we can
Yeah.
walk you through the template we've made. So it would be cool
Also,
to
we
We
could
should
like
move on to
discuss
the next
what
slide.
came. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Martin.
Oh, I think we didn't talk about alums and faculty, or did we?
Did we?
I think we
I
did.
You
did.
did.
You
Okay.
would find alums in those Discord servers, and the faculty is generally the admissions office, and
Also,
whoever that is, you would visit.
yes, so students, you get a lot of insider info from students. For example, a lot of some mid-tier liberal arts schools uh, have really underfunded departments. For example, the admissions office is not going to tell you that, oh, we're strapped for cash and we're basically begging you to apply so we can get the money. We don't really care about you otherwise. This is the kind of info that you get from students who are experiencing these things firsthand. So definitely do talk to alums and current students, because a lot of them are willing to talk to you and answer your questions. So please talk to them. Please reach out to alums. Really good
I had to
resource.
say something, but I forgot. So it
Yeah,
was
I
something
think
that
that happened to me
hit
like
you
thrice
sometimes.
throughout.
Any of us, you can DM any of us. We will just go.
I did anyone get a college list in there on Discord?
Not yet. Oh, for the insider information, Marian, you're going to what? like to review it for you. I mean, Huad is here as well, Sanan is here as well, and it would be nice if everyone, I mean, the
Maria,
kids who are
you
applying.
are school. You wanna? I'm sorry, Zehba. I didn't get your question. Can you please rephrase that or say it again?
Colleges. I'm sorry. I know Maria's. I don't know. I'm sorry. You applied to college, like what college are you going to? And it's kind of off.
For some reason, Zeba, your voice is very, I don't know,
Yeah,
glitchy or
very
something.
muffled.
Do you
I
like, are
can't.
you wearing earphones or something?
Can you send a chat?
Yeah.
Can you send? Yeah.
Later.
Okay.
Is my voice clear now?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Very
All
good.
right. So, yeah, Sanan helped me. So I was just asking Upsar, like, what school are you joining?
Oh, I'm going to USF along with.
They're all
Sana.
going together without me, leaving me
Uh,
alone.
Yeah,
That's,
we're going to gang up against Mario in South Florida.
that's good to look. That's good to hear, though.
Also,
from my side.
I got Barik's list. Were you
Okay.
saying something, Eva? I think I cut you
No,
off.
I was not. I was just wishing you luck, basically.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Thank
mute
you.
my mic.
So I got Barik's list. Nobody else DM'd me their list. I think Ahmed said that he had made a list too. Can you
Even
send
if it's like incomplete or if it has 2-3 colleges, please send it.
I
It's
mean,
fine. It's not that deep.
we don't expect you to have like completely. The point is to review your lists a little bit and give you suggestions. So basically,
Also, this reminds me of what Upsar was saying for alums and faculty. They're really going to be, especially kids, for example, those who are like interning for the internationals department or like admissions department. They are going to be the resources for you to get insider information. For example, when I was applying to DePaul, I had scheduled a meeting with this Moroccan guy who was an international admissions intern, and I was talking to him, and he told me like, if you get accepted and they give you like XYZ amount of scholarship, they may claim that usually it's like the highest scholarship consideration they give you, but most of the times they're lying. So make sure you appeal if you want more financial aid or like scholarship to cover your costs. Make sure you appeal and try and asking them for more. Chances are they might actually give you more money. And that did actually work for not DePaul, but like that did work for other schools for me. DePaul did give me like their maximum, so I could not ask for more. But for other schools, they did give me. I think we should like continue.
Okay. So, one other thing, if you're having difficulty in finding students through student groups and Discord and Reddit, you can always email admissions offices and ask them to connect you with someone. They're going to usually connect you to a student studying in your department, and you can ask them questions too. So, okay, I think we're going to move on to the. So the last segment of this session is Notion. We're going to talk to you about Notion a little bit, and we're going to show you a template of a college list database and how you can go about researching for important information on Notion. I have Barik's college list draft, so we can review these schools and actually.
Boris, if you're comfortable, could we like just do that on Zoom only? If you're comfortable only, of course.
I think we could pick one school from his list and then show him
Yeah.
how we would research it.
Or like first, maybe ask him how they ended up selecting that school in the first place, just to get an idea how it worked in their mind, the whole process. I'm sorry, could you share?
Give me a minute. Until then, Barik, could you tell us a little about the problems you faced in researching and any confusions you have about the college lists you've made and the process of researching those colleges?
Yes, sure. Actually, these 8 colleges I have taken, like it took me about 2 or 3 months to shortlist these colleges. The first, let me take the Cornell University first. It was just like a shotgun. I had to keep an Ivy League in my list. So second one comes, I will come at University of Michigan. So initially, when I was researching about colleges and all, I came to know that University of Michigan has like a very good faculty and resource I mean, resources for electrical engineering, which I am planning to opt. So that's why I have kept it in my list as well. So second one is University of Michigan Dearborn, right? It is the second campus of University of Michigan. That's the reason I kept it in my list was I want to like relate to the, if I don't, I guess, get accepted into the University of Michigan, I wanted to relate more to the environment of the same university. That's why I kept the other campus as well. Coming to University of Texas at Arlington and Dallas, I, as far as I know, as per my research, these two universities have like really high acceptance rate for international students. Like in 2021, the Arlington had about 91% for international students, and University of Texas at Dallas had 88%, and they also give a ton of aid as well. Coming to Mississippi University, Mississippi College, it is a Christian university. The reason I kept it in my list was the environment as well. It's a Christian university, and that was like I really preferred that kind of environment, right? So also one of my faraway cousins, second or third cousin, I must say, is also studying there, and he also told me a lot about this college, and he said it was a good college, and you should keep that in the list as well. So the last one is University of Florida. University of Florida is really known for cheap. There's tuition fee, and they also give a ton of aid as well, but the acceptance rate for international students is not that much high in this university. So that's all.
One question: are you applying for like financial aid?
Yes, I am.
University of Michigan is a public university, if I am not wrong, and jitna mujhe pata hai, they have scholarship, but that's like very limited.
Yes,
very
that's less, very less. Yes, I know that.
So
and
don't know
especially for
why.
engineering, it's almost negligible.
So why did you consider University of Michigan?
No, like it's like I mean, it's like a dream university, I must say. If I get a chance to.
Yeah, that's the point. You said about we were talking about being realistic and like adding one or two schools if they have like your dream schools or like your want to go to schools, but I would understand Cornell if it's like your dream school or something, someplace you want to go to, because they do have fundings available. But UMich is a dream school, of course, but if they don't have fundings, it's like you're losing one slot for a college that could have potentially better funding options. But we can discuss it. It's not an issue. We can discuss it. Maybe the others could tune in. Can you guys like select one college? Also, you talked about something Christian University. What was that? I missed it for some reason.
Yes, Mississippi College. It is. I actually like the environment there because I have been researching a lot about it. And my cousin, he also told me that like it's a good university and they give a bunch of aid as well. So that's why I kept it in my college, in my list.
Okay, that makes sense. Sehwa shared like an emotion. We do not have access to your notions, Sehwa.
So, can all of you see Absar sharing a screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can.
Sanan?
Hello. Am I audible? Okay,
Yes,
so this is the general template that you would be using for making your college list. This is not set in stone, so you can change it according to your own needs, but this is the bare minimum that we would recommend. This would help you keep track of your research and also your deadlines. Could you show us the entire template? Yeah, that's better. So it goes from counselor email to waivers to decision rounds to acceptance rate and the type of college that it is. We would be sharing this template with you after this meeting, but now we would like to take a college and show you how exactly we would research it. And using this template, we would fill in all the columns that there are, and hopefully it can give you an idea of how you could use Notion and your research process and keep track of your deadlines and everything.
Could any of you like drop in a name of a college that you would want us to research and like show you, demonstrate? Or like you could drop 2, 3, and then we can select one at random.
Just type any university name in the chat and we would pick that and we would research it.
I'm sorry you stopped sharing screen.
We got Drexel, we got Arlington.
Give me a minute. Can you see this screen?
Yes, we can see
financially. Okay, I
Excel
changed.
file.
Oh yeah, so I stopped sharing because I forgot to share 2 screens, and we're going to be needing 2 screens. So I think I think we're going to pick a college from Barrick's list. Let's do Michigan State University. What do you say?
Can
Is
do
there
that.
Michigan State there?
Yes, Michigan State is on Barrick's list.
I remember searching for Michigan State when I was applying in the second round as well. And also Michigan Technical University, I guess, or something of that sort.
So the first thing we're going to do is look up their aid policy. So keep in mind that when you're looking for a college's aid policy, which is, I think, the most important consideration while you're making a college list, you are looking for info for international students applying as first years. So I'm going to pull up my Chrome screen here.
I'll try it, Sehwa. In the meantime, you could continue, Upstar.
Michigan State University is a public school, so public schools do not give need-based financial aid to international students. So I'm going to go ahead and search for scholarships for international. Okay, so I found this link.
This is the official.
Yeah, this is the official website of Michigan State University. I think that's easy to make out. So
I think you clicked the wrong link. Just go
no,
back.
And Maria, can you talk about this a little bit?
Sure. While considering what scholarships that you could be able to receive, you have to be very careful that if it's full ride, if it's full tuition, it's almost very hard, almost pathetically difficult for you to get the whole scholarship. So keep that in mind. And if a school has a comparatively more number of scholarship options, it's better for you to stack it up if it's possible. So right on this page, we can see Office of Admissions. There's this You Are Welcome Here scholarship, which is a scholarship that is usually given to international kids. And like it says, it covers 25,000 towards tuition annually, renewable for 8 semesters. And while it is renewable, you'll have to check if there is certain criteria for it to be renewed. Because usually if there are some scholarships, Jinmay, you need 3.5 GPA or more to renew the scholarship. And if you drop, the scholarship stops. Like you don't get additional fundings. So make sure आप अपने criteria देखो for those scholarships क्या है. And 25,000 towards tuition annually. Now you're going to minus this 25,000 from your total cost of attendance to see what your overall expected financial contribution could be, given that you received this scholarship. Now we're not saying you did actually receive it, but hypothetically, if you did, you're going to minus it, you're subtract it from the total cost of attendance. And also you could just copy this whole 25,000 tuition annually renewable for 8 semesters and paste it on this Notion, your template. Could you just do that?
Yes, so I think the maximum scholarship the University of Michigan is giving to international students is
it's 25-ish.
So I'm going to look up Michigan State University's tuition for international students so that I can get an idea of.
Or total cost of attendance would be better and not just tuition, because housing costs a lot of money as well.
I'm going to look up Michigan State University.
If you think housing and food is manageable, you have to think it twice, because it is costly, usually 15,000 roughly per year.
Okay, so now I'm on the official page for cost and aid for Michigan State University. You can see that. So I'm going to navigate over to international freshmen here.
Also, you have to be very careful with the terms. You are an out-of-state tuition, but if there is international mention, then you're an international. You're also an out-of-state student. but like you're international out of state, so be careful. यहाँ पे you'll have to go for international and not out of state. कहीं पे there's no specifics for international and it's just in state and out of state. उस time पे you're an out of state student.
कभी भी अगर आपको कोई ऐसा कंफ्यूजन हो रहा हो कि आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा है किसी जैसे इस यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट तो काफ़ी अच्छी है, लेकिन कुछ स्कूल्स की वेबसाइट्स उतनी ज़्यादा पॉलिश्ड नहीं होती है और उनकी इंटरफेस थोड़ी ट्रिकी होती है नेविगेट करनी, उतना समझ में नहीं आता है। तो अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो आप एडमिशन्स ऑफिस को ईमेल करो और उनसे पूछो कि एग्ज़ैक्टली ये क्या आउट ऑफ स्टेट आपका क्या मतलब है आउट ऑफ स्टेट से इस साइट पे और तो हाँ, आप वो कर सकते हो अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है। So for Michigan State University, the total tuition and fees is so the total for 2 semesters, which is a full academic year, is about $62,000. So I think Barik, what's your expected family contribution if you've had a chance to figure
Annually.
that out? And
Annually.
how much is
I
it?
think that's the first
that
thing you guys should do, like plan
Yes.
how much your family is going to contribute, because usi ke baad you'll filter the colleges, otherwise you can't.
Yes.
Go ahead, Baris.
I haven't talked about it yet, but right now I'm just working on the college list.
But
So
like
if you
roughly how much do you
estimate
think?
it, you
Estimated.
have to pay around what's 61 minus 25?
I mean,
Barik,
come to think of it this way, at least मतलब जितना हमने दो बार अप्लाई करके देखा है, it's almost impossible for you to have 0 EFC and get into a college. Like at least you'll have to cover, the least you have to do is cover your own personal expenses, which is like $3,000, $5,000. And that too is very hard for you to achieve. So I think roughly आपको at least something more than 12,000 per year रखना चाहिए.
हाँ, और
$12,000
जैसे
per year.
बारिक आपके काफी सारे स्कूल्स आपकी लिस्ट में स्टेट स्कूल्स हैं, तो स्टेट
Sure.
स्कूल्स में तो आपको वो ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि स्टेट स्कूल आपको फुल रेट मतलब काफी रेयरली होगा कि स्टेट स्कूल आपको
Rare.
फुल रेट दे रहा है क्योंकि
You
उनके
have to be an
रिसोर्स
overachiever to get that full ride. Full ride तो भूल जाओ, full scholarship के लिए भी you have to be an overachiever.
फुल ट्यूशन स्कॉलरशिप्स भी बहुत लिमिटेड होती है, तो
बहुत.
इसीलिए अगर आप स्टेट स्कूल्स को अप्लाई कर रहे हो तो आपका EFC 0 तो नहीं होना चाहिए।
Actually.
वरना आप
Or
सिर्फ
usually
नहीं,
full tuition if you're an international
स्टेट
एक या
स्कूल्स में
दो
क्या
तो
होता
मिलता
है उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ता आपका EFC कितना है क्योंकि वो नहीं वो
हम्म।
एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं आप ट्यूशन के लिए पे कर पाओगे तो आपको कहीं
हम्म।
नहीं पूछेंगे कि आपका EFC कितना है, वो आपको एक्सेप्ट करेंगे और वो एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि आप पे कर पाओगे जितना भी अमाउंट स्कॉलरशिप के बाद कम हो जाएगा। तो अगर हम इस केस में देखेंगे 61,000 टोटल फी है पर ईयर और मैक्सिमम स्कॉलरशिप जो हमने देखी थी 25 की थी, उसके साथ लिखा था कि ये स्टैकेबल नहीं है अदर स्कॉलरशिप्स के साथ। तो मे बी अगर आप सोच रहे थे कि अगर आपको 2 स्कॉलरशिप्स मिल गई फिर आप उन दोनों को यूज़ करोगे और कॉस्ट काफ़ी कम हो जाएगा, वो नहीं होने वाला है क्योंकि वो उसकी एक रिक्वायरमेंट थी। लेकिन अगर आपको जो भी इसके बाद स्कॉलरशिप माइनस करके जो भी कॉस्ट हो रहा है, अगर आप उसके साथ कंफर्टेबल हो, तो आपको स्कॉलरशिप की डेडलाइन नोट करनी चाहिए और वो नोशन में ऐड करनी चाहिए और देखना चाहिए कि ऑटोमैटिक स्कॉलरशिप है कि आपको इसके लिए अप्लाई करना है। अप्लाई करना मतलब कि आपको ऐसे वगैरह लिखना है और फिर उसके बाद इंटरव्यू राउंड होगा वगैरह, वो सब आपको देखना है।
Also, I think the first thing you should do is sit with your parents and discuss your estimated family contribution. It's not like up acceptance hoga and uske baad you'll go and like, hey, mom, dad, this is how much you're gonna pay. That's not how it works. Like you have to sit and discuss with it because it's costly.
होगी कि आप ज़्यादा कॉलेजेस देख पाओगे अगर आपको पहले ही आइडिया रहा कि आपको पेरेंट्स से कहाँ वो इतना कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, तो आप काफ़ी मतलब स्टेट स्कूल्स भी देख पाओगे कि उनकी स्कॉलरशिप फिल्टर कर पाओगे, देखोगे कि कितना पे करना पड़ेगा फैमिली के साथ। तो इसलिए फैमिली के साथ बात करना फाइनेंसेस के बारे में काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है स्टार्टिंग में।
हाँ, और प्लस एक काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट कोरिलेशन जो फंड्स की अवेलेबिलिटी और एक कॉलेज में होती है, वो है कि जो कॉलेजेस सबसे ज़्यादा जिनके पास पैसे होते हैं और रिसोर्सेज होते हैं आपको फाइनेंशियल एड देने के लिए, वो स्कूल सबसे ज़्यादा सिलेक्टिव भी होते हैं। तो इन्हीं स्कूल को सबसे ज़्यादा एंडाउमेंट्स मिलती है और इन्हीं के पास सबसे ज़्यादा फंड्स होते हैं फाइनेंशियल एड देने के लिए। तो अगर आप ऐसे आपको मिल जाएंगे, आपको 20-30 स्कूल्स आराम से ऐसे मिल जाएंगे जो आपको क्लेम कर रहे होंगे 100% आपकी डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड नीड मीट कर, लेकिन आप देखोगे कि अगर ये सेम स्कूल्स अपनी 90% इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट बॉडी को फाइनेंशियल एड दे भी रहे हैं, तो ये स्कूल्स इतने ज़्यादा सिलेक्टिव होंगे कि आपके एडमिशन के चांसेस ऑलरेडी काफ़ी लो हैं। तो
I mean, you said यहाँ पे internationals बहुत हैं, but then most of those internationals will be like full pay or like जिनको 75% at least pay करना है अपने पूरे expenses का. Your tuition only, okay, 60,000 is like roughly 2 crore की degree आ रही है, like living in US and your degree is 2 crore की, and that is just a huge commitment. And it's not like that is the only thing. उसके बाद you'll have your personal expenses, books. You'll come back home summer May. You'll go study abroad के लिए. If you don't have fundings, you have to get it out of your pocket. So you have to be very careful. I think discuss it with your parents, and then you can easily like cancel out colleges if it's not fulfilling your financial criteria. ऐसे तो you're adding colleges, but then you get in and you can't afford. That's like a waste of energy.
I think we only have 10 minutes left for this session. Is it okay if we run over a little bit, or
I
do you
think
have
so.
something to get to? Because we could. The alternative is that we could host another session this weekend, and we could go over this stuff in detail and talk to you about, and maybe interact with you about these things, and you can ask questions, and we can use Notion to build a college list with and research many colleges with you, so you have a clear idea of how to go about this, because I think this can be very overwhelming for people who have no idea about this stuff. So what do you
EST means your estimated family contribution, and that is required by every single college. In-state unis, out-of-state unis makes no sense. Your estimated family contribution is like how much your family is going to pay towards your cost of attendance. That's your
per
EST.
year.
What do you like? What are people? I think we can run over a little bit. Like I could.
Yeah, like 15-20 minutes.
Would go.
Also, I have this one. I have a suggestion because I was reading the college list, and I have a suggestion for all of you. Take some time off. Look at the big colleges that you usually जिनका आप नाम सुनते हो, and see किनकी scholarships बहुत difficult हैं, and cross them out. I am seeing Boston University हर एक की list में. Boston University में बहुत Indians हैं, बहुत international students हैं, but you guys need to realize the fact that वहाँ पे full tuition is extremely hard. Only a few kids get full tuition, and बाकी are like they're paying 2 crores, they're paying 1.5 crores per year for their degree. Not per
Boston
year, but like
University's full tuition scholarship is a scam. You do
actual
not
scam.
rely on it. It's
I think
also
हाँ, go
same
ahead.
with USC. I think USC has a full ride for international students, but it's
University
like
of
very
California colleges don't apply. Do not.
Yes, please do not apply to like, these colleges.
You should be an
Assess-
overachiever, and even being an overachiever would be less for you to get that full tuition scholarship. Average amount is dependable. Like some colleges have a minimum criteria. Like for example, there is this college called Rollins College. They have this criteria of students paying at least $30,000 per year, and the rest could be covered, but like at least 30,000 per year you have to cover. So that's like the minimum amount. Average is depends on your family, depends on the college you're applying to, depends on how your family is willing to spend on you. It will be better to apply to Boston. Sorry.
I got the others college list too. In my
I think I really would want you guys to know that please don't aim for merit scholarships are good, but don't aim for merit scholarships जो सिर्फ एक या दो बच्चे को मिलती है. Realistically speaking, tens and thousands of international kids are applying. 95% of them could be better than you. Statistically, academically, overall, they have had better opportunities, better exposure, better chances of getting those scholarships. So you could like instead of using that effort जो आप उस एक college की scholarship में आप डालोगे जिसको बस एक बंदे को मिलेगी, switch it to a college जो maybe उतना famous ना हो, but then आप affordable है. One of the first criteria you should keep in mind is it affordable? Because college is like the college tuition जो आप pay करते हो ना, you should not end up in debt. I think it's a thumb rule. Your college का जो debt होता है, it should definitely not be more than जो आपका starting salary hogi once you graduate. That is if you graduate on time and if you get a job. So be very sure.
I think you shouldn't be thinking about debt right now. Like, don't worry
please
about this.
don't.
Yeah, please don't
Please.
concern yourself with
If
this
I
stuff.
dude,
Worry.
the college.
Yeah, that you should worry about this after you get your decisions. But Barik, to answer your question, we already have a college database in the Wath guide. Those are not recommended colleges. Most of these colleges are really selective, I think, and we haven't included state schools yet. But we're going to be updating that list frequently. But there are also other databases listed in the guide, which you can consult. They have appealing stats for international students.
And also saying it again, just Absar ne kaha tha, if you haven't heard about a college or uska program or naam, it does not mean that the college is not nice. There are thousands of colleges जो financially देते होंगे, जो even us जो हमने 2 बार apply किया and still would not be sure about it, because that's the point. You learn eventually. So if the college name sounds iffy to you, just Google it. Don't worry about it.
Yes, and
I am very concerned.
Yeah, there's a reason why we did this. The college list workshop was the first one we did, because it's really important and severely neglected by students who are applying.
Why do you guys think we did not make it in the first round? Because our college lists were, well, not pretty much like this, but like maybe slightly better than some of you, but we had a pretty unrealistic college list as well. But then back at that time, we did not have COVID, and we did not expect it to change or fluctuate in the monetary funds available for international kids. So it was first round it was like a backlash on us, जो हमें बहुत sudden था. It was not entirely our fault, but it was, we had a very unrealistic college list as well. Second round we did well, I think.
So I think I'm going to continue with researching this financial aid info. Okay, so I want to talk to you about this cost breakdown here a little bit, just so you have an idea of what these costs are exactly. So first is tuition and fees. So this is basically tuition and other fees that the college requires. And then there's room and board. If you're going to be living on campus, you're going to have to pay around this much for a room and also meals. So keep in mind that some schools require you to live on campus for at least the first couple of years, and so you should look into that. If you're thinking that you'll save money by living off campus, which you can in some cases, it might not be possible for many colleges. Then there are books and supplies. Then there's personal and miscellaneous expenses. I think these are pretty self-explanatory. Then there's medical costs. So I think this is health insurance. Every college requires you to have health insurance, and you really should have health insurance if you're going to the US, because hospital bills are really scary in the US. So you should get health insurance. So this is the total cost for 2 semesters, 61,740. So for Barik, I think you said that you're not sure about your EFC yet, but I think if we estimate, the max, so if your expected financial, oh my god, I can't talk, expected family contribution is 10K, that would come to be around 8 lakhs, I think. So I think we're going to go with that estimate, assuming you're going to be paying 10K per year.
If you get the maximum scholarship in this case, you'll be paying 35K per year. And provided you have talked with your family about your EFC, that might be good for you or that might not be good for you. We would just copy the amount of the scholarship and the total tuition for a year, and we would paste that in Notion so we could come back to it later when we have talked about TAFC with the family. So we would paste the aid policy here, the summary of what we just read on that website. I think we read that the maximum scholarship is 25K and it's
Yeah.
not stackable.
Hmm.
So 25K maximum scholarship, and if we subtract that from the cost of attendance per year, you would be paying 35K.
That is still a lot outside of budget of 10K if you're paying 10K, for example. And usually student loans bahar milna it's not allowed unless you have like a co-signer in the US. Colleges don't usually give loans, so be very careful. So don't even consider loan as an option, okay? Don't.
Yes.
So if you're comfortable with paying that much money
also it's
every
35K
year,
per
you
year.
should be, yeah, it's 35K. If
Yes.
you're comfortable with that, you would be moving on to the next steps. So I think we should assume that the guy who is going here is comfortable with 35K just for the sake of this template, and we would be moving ahead. So the next thing you should check is if your major is the subject you want to major in, and you want to check that department.
So I'm going to look up Michigan. What major are you planning to apply for, Barik?
Electrical, I guess.
So Michigan State University apparently does have an undergraduate program for electrical engineering. So I think that's confirmed. They do have an undergraduate degree. So I'm going to check this box here. It does have.
नीचे. Sorry. Yeah.
ये हो गया. उसके बाद टाइप तो मिशिगन स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी एक
Public.
यूनिवर्सिटी है और दूसरा ये पब्लिक है. तो इसकी एक्सेप्टेंस रेट्स आपको कोई ऐसा कोई मेट्रिक नहीं है जिससे आपको, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे हमने कहा था, जितना स्कूल ज़्यादा सिलेक्टिव होता जाता है उतनी उनकी फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज भी बढ़ते हैं. तो आप ऐसा नहीं कह सकते हो कि अगर किसी स्कूल की फॉर एग्जांपल 60% एक्सेप्टेंस रेट है, आप ये उससे नहीं डिटरमिन कर सकते हो कि उस स्कूल में
आपको
आपके
एड के साथ मिल जाएगा वो स्कूल. ये नहीं है कि अगर 50% एक्सेप्टेंस रेट है आप दिमाग में रखोगे 10 में से 5 बच्चे हो जाते हैं. ये वैसा नहीं होने वाला. वो काफी डिपेंड
उन
करेगा.
5 में से एक इंटरनेशनल होगा और प्रोबेबली वो इंटरनेशनल होगा जो फुल पे होगा एंड नॉट ऑन एड इफ इट्स अ स्टेट स्कूल.
हाँ, और जैसा कि हमने पहले कहा था, जो आपके एडमिशन डिसीजंस होते हैं वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस्ड होते हैं आपकी फाइनेंशियल नीड से. तो ये काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर होता है कंसिडर करने के लिए. एक्सेप्टेंस रेट्स लेकिन फिर भी आपको थोड़ा आइडिया दे सकती है आपकी कॉलेज लिस्ट की डाइवर्सिटी के बारे में. तो मिशिगन स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी की एक्सेप्टेंस रेट्स आई एम श्योर आपके लिए लुकअप करना ईजी होगा. तो मैं ये कॉलम स्किप कर रही हूँ. अब हम SAT और GPA की बात करते हैं. Maria, can you talk about this?
Yeah. So I believe test optional nahi hone wala for the upcoming round, and anyway we would not suggest it unless you're very lucky. Probably see SAT usually low, median and high range रखी होती है. हर कॉलेज ने अपना दे के रखा होता है and it is suggested कि आपका SAT score उसी range के अंदर आए. And even if उस range के अंदर होगा, it does not guarantee you an admission, and उसके बाहर भी अगर होगा, it does not mean you cannot be accepted. It is a holistic approach, but हाँ, जो मोस्ट बच्चे होंगे उनका एवरेज देके होता है. GPA का एवरेज होता है. जो भी जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स एक्सेप्ट होते हैं उनको एवरेज कितना GPA होगा वो होता है, एंड SAT स्कोर एवरेज कितना होगा वो मेंशन होता है. देयर इज समथिंग टू बी कंसिडर्ड बहुत ज्यादा because grades और scores highly influence करते हैं indeed आपके application को. Let's just say you are a student who has 85% in their final exams, but Michigan State का usual होता है 95%. that means you have comparatively way less chances of getting in. But then it also does not mean that you cannot get in, because like maybe there's like something in your application even more कि वो आपका लो स्कोर को वेव कर सके, वेव in the sense sideline कर सके. So you'll have to check that. And if you don't have the stats, you can actually mail your admissions officer and ask them for those stats, and you'll have that.
Okay. So this is I've pulled up the fall 2021 freshman profile for Michigan State University. So as you can see, the high school GPA, the average high school GPA is 3.5 to 4. So it's probably not a good idea to apply to Michigan State University if you have a GPA of below 3.5. So I know that our schools don't use GPAs, but yeah, so this can still give you an idea about the kind of scores Michigan State University students have. Then the total SAT score is the maximum SAT score in this average is 1310. So you're probably good applying to Michigan State University in terms of your SAT score if you have like a 1400 or something. That means that you're below average, and Michigan State University is a good pick in this aspect. So I'm going to list this here in the Notion list. 3.5 to 4. Okay, so next up is decision rounds. Can Sanan talk about this?
ओके सो डिसीजन राउंड्स हो गया. आप किस डिसीजन राउंड में इस यूनिवर्सिटी को अप्लाई करोगे वो आप यहाँ पे लिख के रखोगे, क्योंकि उस पे डिटरमाइन होगा कि इसकी डेडलाइन क्या है. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप रेगुलर डिसीजन में कर रहे हो, पहले आप देखोगे रेगुलर डिसीजन है कि रोलिंग है इस यूनिवर्सिटी को, तो आप वो ऑप्शन यहाँ ऐड करोगे. या अगर ये आपका ईए स्कूल है तो उससे आपकी डेडलाइंस इन्फ्लुएंस होगी. तो हम करेंगे सपोज कि हम इसको रेगुलर डिसीजन में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं स्कूल को, स्पेसिफिक स्कूल को, तो उसके बाद उस बेसिस पे हम आगे डेडलाइंस ऐड करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे हम आरडी रखेंगे.
और कुछ स्कूल्स के लिए आप किस डिसीजन राउंड में अप्लाई कर रहे हो उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स वेरी करती है डिसीजन राउंड्स के साथ, तो आपको वो भी देखना चाहिए कि अगर
पॉलिसी मैच करती है वगैरह,
पॉलिसी वेरी करती है डिसीजन राउंड्स के साथ या नहीं. तो शायद मिशिगन स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी को ईए और आरडी application rounds हैं. तो this is easy to look up, but make sure you consult the official website for Michigan State University. So next is essays.
तो हम कॉमन ऐप पे जाएंगे. अभी नहीं क्योंकि अकाउंट बनाना है. आप अपने कॉमन ऐप पे जाओगे. अब सर आप नहीं अकाउंट बना सकते हो अभी. हाँ, तो आप लोग अपने कॉमन ऐप पे जाओगे, वो यूनिवर्सिटी ऐड करके वहाँ आपको दिखाई देगा कि इसको कौन सा ऐसे रिक्वायर्ड है. वो आप यहाँ पे लिखोगे और उसका काउंट लिखोगे ताकि आपको आइडिया रहे कि आपको ये ऐसे इस स्कूल के बारे में लिखना है. क्योंकि जब एंड पे अगर आप फॉर एग्जांपल आपको ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं आया और डेडलाइंस क्लोज आ रही है, तो आपको थोड़ा आइडिया होना चाहिए कि किस स्कूल को आप अप्लाई कर पाओगे. और अगर आप यहाँ पे लिख के रखोगे और बाद में अंदर रेफर करोगे कि ऐसे का टाइटल वगैरह क्या, आप कॉमन एसेज ढूंढ पाओगे और ज़्यादा स्कूल्स को अप्लाई कर पाओगे. तो यहाँ पे आप ऐसे लिखोगे, ऐसे कितने लिखने हैं और उसका वर्ड काउंट क्या होगा.
ठीक है, तो इसके बाद
वो आप कॉमन ऐप से चेक करोगे. डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड इंटरेस्ट आप चेक करोगे. पहले आप गूगल एक सिंपल सर्च करोगे कि डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड इंटरेस्ट आपका स्कूल चेक करता है कि नहीं. या अगर लेकिन जनरली सब स्कूल्स के लिए आपको ये इन्फो नहीं मिलेगा. तो उसके बाद आप सीधा काउंसलर को पूछ सकते हो कि आप काउंसलर के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. वो लिंक्स आप यहाँ डाल सकते हो. वर्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन सेशन की भी लिंक्स होगी आपकी कॉलेज वेबसाइट पे, वो आपको नेविगेट करके ढूंढनी है, वो भी यहाँ पे आप डालोगे ताकि आप बार बार चेक करो कि कोई अपकमिंग इवेंट कोई अपकमिंग इवेंट तो नहीं है जिसके लिए आप रजिस्टर कर सकते हो. वो लिंक्स आप यहाँ रखोगे क्योंकि आप हर बार नए से सर्च करने नहीं बैठोगे, तो इसलिए अच्छा एक बार अच्छे से सर्च करो और सब कुछ ऐड करो यहाँ पे. उसके बाद आई वेवर्स की बात. कुछ स्कूल्स जनरली लिबरल आर्ट्स कॉलेजेस की स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि आप पे कर पाओगे उनकी एजुकेशन के लिए। लेकिन लिबरल आर्ट्स क्योंकि वो बोलते हैं कि हम नीड कंसिडर करते हैं वगैरह और हम एड देते हैं, तो वो आपको बोलेंगे सीएसएस प्रोफाइल फिल करने को या आईएसएफ अगर सीएसएस प्रोफाइल बोल रहे हैं उसके साथ एसोसिएटेड होता है एक फी $13 का अराउंड शायद, तो वो आपको पे करना पड़ेगा अनलेस उस यूनिवर्सिटी के पास वेवर होगा सीएसएस का, वो आप उनसे मांग सकते हो। अगर आईएसएफए एक्सेप्ट करती है यूनिवर्सिटी तो अच्छी बात है क्योंकि उसके साथ कोई फीस एसोसिएटेड नहीं होता है। तो आप वो चेक करोगे, वेवर्स चेक करोगे, कभी-कभी क्या होता है आपको ईमेल करना पड़ता है जल्दी बाकी बच्चों से वेवर पाने के लिए, वरना उनके पास वेवर्स खत्म हो जाते हैं। और वेवर्स में एक और चीज़ आ सकती है कि इंग्लिश प्रोफिशिएंसी रिक्वायरमेंट, कि आपको टोफल या आइलेट्स देना ज़रूरी है कि कोई और ऐसी पॉलिसी है जिस पे वो वेव हो जाएगा आपके लिए। किसी स्कूल में होता है कि अगर आपने सैट इंग्लिश पे कोई स्पेसिफिक स्कोर क्रॉस किया, तो वो आपको इंग्लिश प्रोफिशिएंसी एग्ज़ाम के स्कोर सेंड करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तो वो आप पहले से चेक कर सकते हो। और एक और फैक्टर होता है कि मतलब अगर एक और पॉलिसी होती है कि अगर आपने इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल में पढ़ा है 4 साल के लिए, तो वो भी वेव हो सकता है और वो आपका काउंसलर लिखता है अपनी प्रोफाइल पे कि ये स्कूल में एजुकेशन किस लैंग्वेज में होती है। तो अगर उसने भी वहाँ पे इंग्लिश लिखा है और आपकी है एक्चुअल एजुकेशन इंग्लिश में ही हुई है, तो मे बी वेव हो सकता है, वो आप कॉलेज पे देखोगे और वो आप यहाँ पे ऐड करोगे। तो उसके बाद आई अलम्स और फैकल्टी, तो आप कॉलेज काउंसलर या फिर अगर आपने किसी के साथ कनेक्ट किया डिस्कॉर्ड वगैरह पे, आप उनके नाम लिख सकते हो, आप उनका कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फो लिख सकते हो, ताकि अगर आपको फ्यूचर में रेफरेंस के लिए कोई सवाल पूछना पड़े या कुछ वैसा, तो आप जल्दी ऐड कर सकते हो, मतलब यहाँ से आप कॉन्टैक्ट कर सकते हो इनको। और इसी के साथ आपका काउंसलर भी आता है इसके बाद। जब भी आप काउंसलर को मेल करोगे, आपको याद रखना कि आप अपना स्टूडेंट आईडी साथ मेंशन कर रहे हो, क्योंकि वो आपका रेफरेंस, वो आपकी रेफरेंस के लिए यूज होगा और उससे उनको पता चलेगा कि आप इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट हो, आपकी प्रोफाइल में क्या-क्या आपने सबमिट किया है, अगर कुछ देखना पड़ा।
ये जो स्टूडेंट आईडी होता है ये आपको अप्लाई करने के बाद मिलता है, तो अगर आप अप्लाई करने
हाँ,
से
ये आपकी
पहले
पोर्टल पे होगा।
दे रहे हो तो आपको इसके बारे में नहीं सोचना है।
हाँ, और
हम्म।
जब भी काउंसलर से बात करोगे फिज़ूल सवाल नहीं पूछना, पहले अपनी रिसर्च करना, उसके बाद स्पेसिफिक सवाल पूछना, अच्छे से मेल वगैरह लिखना। उसके बाद
हाँ
आई
और
आप डेडलाइन्स। हाँ, अगर आपको कुछ ऐड करना है आप कर सकते हो अब से।
हाँ, मैं कह रही थी कि आप डिफरेंट टाइप के जैसे एडमिशन्स ऑफिसेज़ के डिफरेंट पार्ट्स होते हैं, जैसे फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल यूजुअली इंटरनेशनल एडमिशन्स के लिए एक सेपरेट ऑफिस होता है और फाइनेंशियल एड ऑफिस होता है और फ्रेशमैन एडमिशन्स का ऑफिस होता है। जैसे अगर मैं एक इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट हूँ और मैं ईमेल कर रही हूँ इस फ्रेशमैन एडमिशन्स ऑफिस को इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में, जनरली ये मुझे रीडायरेक्ट करते हैं इस इंटरनेशनल एडमिशन्स ऑफिस को। तो ये भी हैंडी होगा यहाँ पे इनके सारे ईमेल्स लिस्ट करना जो आपको ऑफ़िशियल वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगा ये सब कुछ। और ये
हाँ,
जो
तो इसके
एडमिशन्स काउंसलर हम लोगों ने लिखा है उसका मतलब है कि जनरली जब आप अप्लाई करते हो, अप्लाई करने के बाद आपको कुछ कॉलेजेस एक एडमिशन्स काउंसलर असाइन करते हैं। तो जिन आप वो थोड़ा उस उनसे बात करना थोड़ा कन्वीनिएंट होता है क्योंकि उनको एक स्पेसिफिक टारगेट ग्रुप असाइन्ड होता है, जैसे इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स या फिर किसी कुछ स्पेसिफिक कंट्रीज़ के स्टूडेंट्स से उनको बात करनी होती है सिर्फ़। तो और वो स्पेशलाइज़ करते हैं आपके एडमिशन्स में। तो इसीलिए आपको उनसे बात करना जनरली प्रेफ़रेबल होता है एज़ कम्पेयर टू जनरल एडमिशन्स ऑफ़िस। तो लेकिन जब आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो, जब आपने अप्लाई अभी नहीं किया है और आप बस रिसर्च कर रहे हो अपनी कॉलेज लिस्ट के लिए, तो आपको एडमिशन्स काउंसलर्स शायद तब आपको ना मिले उन पे इन्फो। मिल सकता है लेकिन मोस्टली नहीं मिलेगा और आपको एओज़ को ही ईमेल करना पड़ेगा, एडमिशन्स ऑफ़िसेज़ को या फाइनेंशियल एड ऑफ़िस को या इंटरनेशनल एडमिशन्स को।
तो उसके बाद आप यहाँ पे अपनी एप्लीकेशन डेडलाइन लिखोगे। वो डिपेंड करेगा आप किस राउंड में अप्लाई कर रहे हो और फाइनेंशियल एड डेडलाइन जनरली अलग होती है एप्लीकेशन डेडलाइन में, और फाइनेंशियल एड डेडलाइन उन्हीं को होगी उन स्कूल्स को जो एड देते हैं, क्योंकि फिर वो आपकी फाइनेंशियल एड डॉक्यूमेंट्स मांगेंगे जिसमें आईएसएफए या सीएसएस आ सकता है। तो अगर आप स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को अप्लाई कर रहे हो, वो क्योंकि मैंने इससे पहले भी मेंशन किया कि वो अज़्यूम करते हैं कि आप फुली पे कर रहे हो, तो उनको आपको फाइनेंशियल डॉक्यूमेंट्स भेजने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती, और वो क्योंकि आपका ईएफसी नहीं पूछते। तो फाइनेंशियल एड डेडलाइन उन्हीं के लिए होगी जो आपका ईएफसी पूछेंगे और जो एड देते होंगे, एड और स्कॉलरशिप्स। तो जनरली उसमें आते हैं लिबरल आर्ट्स कॉलेजेस। तो वो आप यहाँ
हाँ
पे
और
मेंशन करके रखा हुआ है और
तो
बाकी आप
different
कस्टमाइज कर सकते हो
yeah.
इस टेम्पलेट को अपनी नीड्स के अकॉर्डिंग और हाँ बस
हाँ
ये
और
स्टार्टिंग
जैसे
पॉइंट
डिफरेंट टाइप्स के जो एडमिशन राउंड्स होते हैं उनकी डिफरेंट डेडलाइंस होती है, तो आप जैसे एक कॉलम ऐड कर सकते हो अर्ली एक्शन डेडलाइंस के लिए और वो सब, तो मतलब आप एक बार ये टेम्पलेट हम लोग डिस्कॉर्ड पे भेजेंगे तो आप इसको ट्वीक कर सकते हो अपने हिसाब से ये डुप्लीकेट करके। तो हाँ मैं हाँ are we done with Notion because I think I'm going to switch over to Google Slides now.
हाँ स्लाइड्स में आप कुछ है
Okay,
Also,
so
I think you should once
concluding,
again mention like emphasize on the fact that prestige or ranks or like top names don't make a difference, and that should not be the only schools you apply to. Because all the lists that I saw, honestly, most like 90% are like top 50 colleges. You should like apply to one or two top 50 colleges. That's it, and that could be like your dream school or something. But abhi jo main dekh rahi hu, it's all top colleges. Also, we could like discuss a bit on what schools to definitely not apply to. Like we talked about Boston University, UC colleges, University of California colleges, UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, UC Berkeley, UCLA. Don't apply. Unless you're loaded financially from your family, go ahead, Varna, don't.
I think Sanan has to leave. So bye Sanan. Did he leave already? Okay, he left.
Okay, wow, that was quick.
Before we conclude, I think I'm going to share my screen once more and walk you through some, like I'm just going to give you a basic overview of some tools we discussed, specifically the databases that derive their information from the college datasets as we discussed. Give me a second.
In the meantime, if any of you has any questions regarding what Absar just demonstrated, please.
So
Zehra,
this,
okay, no, continue.
Maria, were you saying something?
Yeah, to Zehra, it does not matter if the college has your intended major if you cannot afford the colleges. So you have to be very careful.
So this is Auxilia, the international financial aid tool we talked about. This is really helpful. Like you can see, it has all these entries for a lot of useful information. And for example, we were talking about Michigan State University, so I'm just going to look that up. Okay, so you can see the financial aid offering type, and you can see the percentage of total international undergraduates awarded financial aid, which as you can see is very low, BARIC. So the estimated cost of attendance after their average award is 34K. So
like we calculated.
Yeah, we calculated this too. So for someone with a 10K EFC, Michigan State University would not be an ideal school to apply to.
Also, just because a school has higher acceptance rate does not mean they'll be able to accept you and meet your needs. So don't think about, okay, this school ko zyada acceptance rate means I can get in, I can get the scholarship as well. No, that does not mean.
वो सिर्फ तभी होल्ड करेगा अगर आपके पास फाइनेंशियल मींस हैं उनका अच्छा खासा कॉस्ट ऑफ अटेंडेंस कवर करने के लिए, तो ये सब चीजें उतना ज्यादा अप्लाई नहीं करती है मतलब अमीर लोगों को बेसिक.
Also, you have to think जो acceptance rate दी गई होती है, that's mostly domestic के लिए or generalized. If let's just say Harvard has an acceptance rate of 5, so we can statistically say that 5 in every 100 get selected. और उन 5 में से there would be 2 internationals or even less. और उन 2 में से either एक या किसी को भी नहीं financial aid होगा or like scholarship होगी. So that's how difficult it is for students to get into. So do the math on your own. If it says 71%, it does not mean 71% internationals only. 71 internationals usually half का भी half होता है. And for those who are asking for monetary aid, even less.
I remembered something random. So if you look up early decision acceptance rates, they tend to be really high. So don't let that mislead you into thinking that it's easy to get
I
in.
did
If
that.
you apply ED, that is not true at all. So the thing
Actually,
with early decision applicant pools is that they tend to be overqualified. Basically, they apply as early as November. Their apps are ready, and there are a lot of legacy applicants, which means that people from their family have attended the school too.
legacy is a
And
big thing.
yeah, a lot of schools really care about legacy applicants. And then there are a lot of athletes um,
Hmm.
recruit.
Athletes
So
are like a huge commitment. So most athletes apply early round. Like Northwestern has like a 60% early round acceptance. जबकि RD में it's like 9 or 13. But a 60 में it's just athletes, only athletes.
yes, so that is I think that's it about
Also, I think
auxiliary.
I would give one suggestion. If it's like MIT, if it's school that have restricted early action, I would not suggest you to apply because if it's school like Yale, Stanford, because one, it's already very hard to get into, and restricted early action does not really increase your chances much. But what it
Mm.
does is limit your chances of applying to colleges. Baki school mein, like you cannot apply early action if you have applied restricted early action किसी और school में. You cannot apply early कहीं पे भी, not even one school. So that
And
limits your chance of getting into other schools.
yes, and not being able to apply early action is a huge drawback.
Exactly.
Early action is a really good application rounds. When you apply early action, you're applying in the time of peak funds availability, and it also shows the college that you're interested in attending their school. So early action is a good option. You should try to apply early action to as many schools as you can. Also,
I think,
this is a way that
go
you
ahead.
should apply early if your application isn't ready. That's not going to help you improve your chances at admission. But if you can get your application ready by the time of early deadlines, that's really good, and you should go for it. You should apply early action definitely, and there's no limit to how the number of schools you can apply early to early
In my
action.
opinion, I would prioritize early action first, उसके बाद early decision, and then restrictive. I would rather not apply restrictive early action, but
And
like just
also,
early action.
you can only apply to one school through early decision, and you have to be really careful about the school you pick because if you get in early decision with sufficient aid, you are going to
You
have
can,
to attend that school, no matter if you get into Harvard in your like RD, but you can't
you can.
you can't attend. You won't be able to attend Harvard. So
You're
oh,
legally bound to attend that school.
yes, you have to attend. So I think that's it for auxilia. I'm going to move on to um,
Someone had asked us why we applied again. Absar.
we the first round
Absar
of
का end moment पे था.
बेसिकली फर्स्ट राउंड में हम लोग काफी मिस इन्फॉर्म थे और हम लोग के पास काफी कम टाइम था. हमने बहुत लेट स्टार्ट किया था अप्लाई
I
करना
think it was
और हमारे
just
पास
3 of us
मतलब
who
जो
got waitlisted, right?
हाँ we got waitlisted.
Yes,
I think
Absar, you Chicago. No, Princeton. Absar got waitlisted at Princeton.
yes, I got waitlisted at Princeton and Colby, and I got
I got
straight up
waitlisted at
from
UPenn
the
and
other.
a very small school that I did not even accept the waitlist offer. And Sanan got waitlisted at Grinnell.
He also got waitlisted at Kenyon.
Oh yeah, right, Kenyon, yeah.
But we all got, and like waitlists are basically soft rejections in 99.9% of.
But I applied again because I knew for a fact that due to my personal opinions and reasons, I did not want to study in India. So I really had like other options, like I bahar apply karne ke, maybe Turkey or like UK or like Canada. But so I had like in my mind that okay, I am keeping my JE as a backup. I am studying, but like my main priority is this. But it was I would not suggest doing this because I really think I got lucky with it, considering how I did not study well for JE. I just got lucky. So don't be like me. Make sure you have everything balanced out. Keep options available.
Yes. Plus, don't think that oh, if I get rejected, I'm just going to focus all my energy on college applications right now, and then I'm going to worry about backups in case I get rejected.
Doesn't hurt.
That is not a good
We
attitude to
tried, we
have.
failed. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's you're going to be so incredibly burnt out at
Yeah.
the end of the admissions process that you simply won't have the energy to start something, from scratch. So don't do that. Devote time to other things. If you're
Exactly.
if you're an engineering student, study for JEE on the side, and do what you can to increase your options.
Also, if once you're done applying, there's this 2-3 month period. It's gonna be very draining mentally, not like physically. Mentally, it's gonna be very draining for you. So it's good to have yourself occupied with something. For example, if you're applying to colleges but then studying for JEE at the same time, on 2-3 month mein you'll try and just focus on JEE, so that your mind is like diverted thoda, because it's very draining and it's very oh my god, it's a very hectic phase.
So I think
How much
I'm going to quickly. Were you saying
Who,
something?
me or Apsar?
Yes. Did someone
Who?
ask a question?
How much aid you have?
Oh, who are you asking, Zahra?
Zehwa, okay.
Like all of you who are planning to like leave this fall, like Maria and you, Sinan and Huad.
So Sanan, Hued, and I got the highest merit scholarship at USF, which covers some of the total cost of attendance. But USF is a cheap school, so right now the cost of attendance for us is about 20K per year. And for Maria, I think it's
I
around
think I
12K.
got lucky. Through this entire process, I got lucky. I don't know how. I got into. I mean, I. Excuse
Maria,
me,
you
1 minute.
okay.
Take a second.
तो तब तक मुझे लगता है मैं जल्दी से आप लोगों को इनका एक ओवरव्यू
हाँ.
देती हूँ मारिया वापस अच्छा
No,
ठीक है
you
बोलो
can do it. I'll just join in later.
ओके ठीक है तो ये बेसिकली आईवी अचीवमेंट इंटरनेशनल एडमिशंस एंड फाइनेंशियल एड गाइड है ये काफ़ी ये वथ की गाइड में भी है उसके कॉलेज सर्च सेक्शन में आपको मिल जाएगी तो ये इसमें काफ़ी डिटेल्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन है काफ़ी सारे स्कूल्स का और इसमें जैसे देखो आपको इन स्कूल्स की जैसे इंटरनेशनल यील्ड international student acceptance rate, international students applying for fall 2017, and then you can find info on merit scholarships. You can find info on the largest merit scholarship available to international students, total aid in millions, cost of attendance after average award. So I think this is very detailed information, and not many other sources have this kind of info available. This is really cool too. You should use this as well. Then I think the last resource I want to show you is this financial aid guide. So this is basically a more condensed version of the IV achievement guide. This is being derived from the same guide. So it also has a better interface, so it's easier to navigate, and it has fewer columns. And these columns are most important for researching schools. So this is something you can consult as well. So for example, if I'm going to look for Michigan State University on this, just to show you how. Okay, so this is Michigan State University, and you can see that it shows that the average aid was is 20K, which we confirmed from, I think, 2 sources now. And then the average EFC is 34K. So this is how you can use these different tools to make your research a little bit easier. Maria, I think you were saying something.
Oh yeah. In the meantime, Absar, could you like open what Notion guide, like the database for them to see? For my scholarships in aid, I think I got very lucky. At a school, I got like a few full tuition for which like only 2 international students get, and I had to work very hard for that. But then I did not attend. At Bryn Mawr, I think they're covering roughly 90% of my cost of attendance, so I just have to pay like 8K or like 10K per year. But that's very lucky. I don't know how it worked out. Please don't feel like it's very easy because it's not. So make sure your college is very, structured and very realistic. My college list, this year, I did not apply to any big school, like none. When I say big school, I mean um, national university, like Ivies or like UCs. I did not. I focused more on liberal arts colleges and smaller schools that have good programs but are good with aid as well. So that's only because I did a lot of research. So if you guys do research, maybe you can end up on some good schools as well.
Okay, so this is the Wath database. You can find this in the college search section. I'm just going to show you quickly. This is the college search section, and here is the database. I think we should make this a little bigger. It's not that visible, but okay. So this has a lot of schools that offer need-based aid to international students. And so this is not really a list of recommendations as someone was asking for them. This is just another database that you can use to as a starting point. Basically, you can use this to, and we've also added personal comments. A lot of these schools are we have experience applying to these schools, so we also added some personal comments on these. So this is just useful to get some starting info basically. And most colleges in this list have need-based aid. Here's a key if you're confused about any of the columns above.
Also, we'll keep trying to update the database because we're not exactly free all the time, but we do have some time on hand. So we're trying to update the database and update each policy as time goes. And if we find a good school, we just add it to the database.
Okay, so I think, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, please. Or if you have any suggestions or a remark for others who are applying, please go ahead. Is there anyone who's already applied here other than us?
I don't think so.
If you're a gap year student, please make sure you utilize your gap year very, very nicely.
Yes, also you don't have the commitment of school. So that gives you a lot of time to do some
Actually,
other things.
CBSE, so I do. Or CBSE on my behalf. Do that, please. I have my board exams in this exact timeline, and my board exams are stretching kind of for like 1 month, April, May through June. So it's like it's hitting my mind differently. So pray for me, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be hectic in any case, so might as well try to give your best this year.
Yeah. Also, I wanted help with like you know, I was trying to navigate my way through like summer research programs versus summer internships, like what are the differences and stuff, and how can I avail some. Also on that note, like one of my seniors who got into Stanford some years back, like she was a batch of 2022, class of 2022, she got in. So she
is her name
Muskan, yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, the only
that I know about her. Bushra knows her,
do know
and
about
Moin
her.
also knows her, I think.
Internships, like literally they do mean internships, whereas summer research program means that you'll be either shadow jobbing someone, or like you'll probably have a mentor who's gonna guide you through a research. So you're gonna use that summer to cover a research project. The topic could be of your choice, the subject could be of your choice, or the summer research program you're attending, depends.
Yeah, so
we
basically
can attend any, but then it won't make much difference if you don't get anything substantial out of it.
Yeah, I get that. So basically, the point that I was trying to make was that like she got herself hooked into this, which really worked for her benefit. Was like she got herself hooked for this Stanford summer research program, but then she got herself funded. You know what I mean? Like उसको 8 lakhs की कम से कम उसने अपने आप को sponsor करवाया. So basically, मेरा आपसे सवाल ये था कि how do like from your experience, I guess Maria आपने भी और like शायद सनान या फिर किसी और ने भी research में थोड़ा सा you had like some research going on in your
I don't think
so
so.
like how do you navigate your way through it, like if you have like a personal experience towards research again,
I mean,
especially like foreign university के summer programs के
I'm sorry, what can you say that again? The last line, I didn't really get what you said.
yeah, I was saying especially the foreign universities के summer research internships होती है ना.
Huh?
I mean,
Yeah,
there are some research internships or like programs that are really difficult to get into, and if you get into those programs, it's like a literal boost to your application. For example, the Stanford summer research program, I think it is a difficult one to get into, so that would have definitely benefited her application in general, Muskan's application in general. There are some other summer programs that really boost. For example, there is this summer program from MIT, for example, or like RISE, not Kashmir RISE, but like RISE summer program.
yeah,
Also one from, I think,
I
RISE
think
or some other
MIT's summer programs are really prestigious, but they're also very, very competitive. So
but then
program,
sometimes you get scholarships for those summer programs as well, or like financial aid. It's like the same. The college, like have the college process, admission process. You have a similar summer program application process. You need to send your recommendations, your scores, write essays, ask for fundings if you want fundings, and see how it works. It yet again depends on how you research and how you spend your time, narrowing down those colleges.
Yep. Thank you.
Also, a note about summer programs and internships. Generally, the summer programs that don't give you financial aid are not going to be worth it. It's
a hit or miss.
Yeah, it's like so you shouldn't shell out a lot of money just to attend this summer program if you get in. I mean, it's you should weigh the pros and cons and really research before paying a lot for these things.
Also, it also does not mean like if you got into a prestigious summer program, it does not mean that you'll get into top schools. Well, you can, but like that's not the only factor that counts.
You
could have essays, but then you got into this XYZ summer programs, which is prestigious. You cannot be guaranteed admission to a college. So it's
that is completely understandable. But I was genuinely like for my own good, like basically, पिछले साल pura grind se jaake, it took me around like 4 to 5 months to actually see what I really wanted to do in life. So based on that, I am having this very like hands down approach, and like if I want to do this in my life, like I have to do it for my own good. So basically मैं थोड़ा जज्बाती हूँ उस मसले में हो गई हूँ, तो मैं मतलब उसी हिसाब से कह रही थी, मतलब it was like a genuine approach. मैं gap year, I was about to if I got in or not got in, so मैं उसके लिए I was anyway going to take a gap year. And in that gap year, I was anyway planning for a research program. Like मेरे वो खुद का वो नहीं, college के लिए बच्चे कुछ करते ना, मैं college के लिए 1000 programs में they like put themselves in, but then do good for none. So it was not kind of that approach. Basically, मेरा खुद का ही शौक था kind of like research वगैरह.
Also, one thing I would suggest you and everyone else who's applying, you don't necessarily have to aim for the best, but make the best out of what's given to you. You could attend, for example, I attended this not random, but like IBM Quantum does sponsor this summer program of quantum computing, and this other one on machine learning, and they gave me like scholarship to attend that summer program. It was virtual though. It was fine, nothing too fancy, but I think the only thing that made it fancy for my application was that whatever I learned through that machine learning summer program, I used that knowledge and created a machine learning project on my own, off my own, like from scratch. So that could be used like learned from a summer program, converted that theoretical knowledge to something practical, and that shows like you're ready to make efforts. So if you don't get into a top summer school or like research program, it's fine. Find something small and make it like worth it.
I think I think we should. I think we can get back to your questions, Zaheba, after after we conclude the meeting, because I think.
Or you guys can like drop in your questions in the server, and someone can answer. Mentors or anything.
I think we can answer. Maria, if you have time, we can stay and answer questions if for people after we finish concluding the meeting. So anyone who wants to leave can leave.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so so to conclude, the stuff we talked about and the stuff we demonstrated is just the starting point of your college list teacher. Like, it's not, college lists are not created overnight. Basically, it's a very it happens over an extended period of time, and like we said before, you're going to be editing your college list right right up till the end of your application process. So demonstrate throughout the period demonstrated. So I think we talked about this a lot. So I'm going to skip over to the last point. Oh, okay. So when you sign up for a college board account or click links on college websites or sign up for mailing lists, you're going to get a lot of promotional emails from colleges. So when you get promotional emails like a college is asking you to apply, hello Zehba, we would like to see you at Harvard, like, something of that
You're
sort.
one of the top candidates for applying.
So trust me,
I know,
Harvard,
right?
yeah, like Harvard is not envisioning anyone at Massachusetts. Like, it's just not true. Like, trust me, this is there's nothing more to these kinds of emails and communications than marketing. Yeah, like they're just marketing gimmicks basically. So do not use these promotional emails as a basis to add or eliminate schools from your college list. And then although uh, there are communications that only you will receive from colleges, but I think it's easy to differentiate the two. They're going to be very specific and talk to you about your specific application. So you should click on every email as a rule of thumb, and you should read what it says, and you'll be able to make out what if those emails are just promotional or personalized or not. And then also keep checking your spam folders throughout your research and application process, because a lot of emails, a lot of sometimes important emails get directed to spam, so you should keep checking that folder as well. So I think Maria, do you have anything to add to this?
Not really, but like, this is your starting point. We did show you some resources and tools that you could use. Get 1 or 2 hours on your hand and try using those resources. Try making that college list. It's going to be hectic, draining, but it's for your own benefit. You really don't want to rush into it, and give as much time as you can to the rest of your application as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can just drop them in the server or like DM us.
And also, I think we received college lists from Ahmed and Barik. You should, based on what you gathered from today's session, you should try and refine those more and use databases and add to them more. And this goes for anyone who's here. You can always reach out to us on the server, and we're more than glad to help you out with stuff if we can. So
as well, please work on your college list. मुझे इतना डर लग रहा है आपकी college list को देख के, like I'm genuinely scared.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
please do.
It's okay. It's gonna be initially. It's gonna be very similar to what you're doing, and slowly you're gonna get the hang of it and like get the heart to remove the big colleges that you would dreamed of applying. Initially, it's gonna be hard, but you'll have to. You'll do it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that's all we had for this session. People who want to leave can leave, and people who have any questions can stay. So thank you for joining. We had
Thank you,
a good
guys.
time.
Bye, guys. Have a nice iftar. Stay hydrated.
Bye bye.